flashcards? Did you see the wrestlers' flashcards?
No, I didn't. I didn't know I was doing this. Yeah. A cheat sheet.
Well, how excited are you to go down to Cedar Falls this weekend?
Super excited. This is at two more duels left in my college career, and this is a big one. Missouri and UNI both. These last two are really big ones for just finishing up Big 12, and they're both good teams in the Big 12 too. So really exciting. We both got Oklahoma State that one weekend, both beat them. So kind of want to. When they beat Oklahoma State first, I'm like, oh man, we got to beat them now. So even since back then, a couple weeks ago, I've been thinking about this one. Yeah.
So how exciting is it for you? You know, you both beat OSU, top team in the Big 12 the past few years.
Yeah.
Well, long time, I should say.
Yeah.
What does it feel like now that it's you and UNI going up against each other? Like, better teams coming out, right? So.
Yeah. I think it's really cool just them being from Iowa too, and just knowing that, they're not a traditional Big 12 team, right? I don't even think they have D1 football, or it's like the FBS, whatever. So they're kind of a little bit smaller school. So, and I know a lot of those guys, a lot of them from Iowa, and I've been in Iowa enough to know kind of the Schwab and stuff like that. So, yeah, I've got a lot of respect from those guys, and it's cool to see them have some success too, and it just makes the stage bigger for when we wrestle them as well. So, yeah, and we've had some good scraps. Our teams the past 5 years I've been here. So, yeah, it's a cool experience. I wish it was in West Gym, but McLeod Center too. It's like you'll take what you can get. So, yeah.
And then how has it been like for you preparing for your own personal match?
Good. I mean, you treat everyone like it's gonna be like the NCAA finals, like it's the biggest stage. So, nothing too different. Don't have to travel very far. I guess that's the only difference, but that's more of tomorrow things. So, yeah.
Has it set in that like as each match goes by, it's closer to the end for you?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm definitely not trying to take it for granted. I guess that's the only difference, but I don't know if it's like set in or if anything's really changed much, and I think it's good. I don't think it really should change too much, the way I prepare and everything like that. So, yeah.
I think I asked you some big picture stuff the last time you were here, but I'm just curious in general when you saw Dresser come in with these guys and their enthusiasm. Did you foresee, as he said, you're not where you want to be number one, right? Everybody wants to be number one, but you got into the top 5 finally. Did you see this kind of progression coming while you were here, based on what these guys set out as like a blueprint?
I don't know. It's hard to say because, every coach that comes in, especially a program like this, like Dresser was hired for this intention. Yeah. So he's going to tell you, he's like, oh, we're going to be a top, whatever team. He did that at Virginia Tech, but, of course they're going to say that. So it's hard to say. And it's kind of like one of those things where I lived it, and it's hard. Looking back at it now, it's like, oh, wow. Yeah, look at all that progress we made, and all that was intentional and stuff. But when you're in it, it's kind of hard to see. I know for sure when we got the new coaching staff, I know a lot was going to be different. I remember, whether they were cut or just quit or transferred somewhere else, or we lost like 10, 15 guys, and we had a super small team, and I remember that being a huge change, and the culture changed a lot. Yeah, that's been really cool. I think this is like kind of when, you plant those seeds and you harvest or you water it and everything, and you're starting to see some of that fruit. This is like a full team effort. This is why I've noticed, just in terms of culture and everything like that. So it's really cool to see everyone just wrestling well as well. Yeah.
The fruit. What's the cherries? What's the?
Oh, mint.
Mint.
Mint,
Yes,
yeah.
it's fine.
No, we got
Not
cherries.
fruit.
That's Traverse City,
There
Michigan.
you go.
That's like the cherry capital of the world. Yeah, you go there and there's just like cherry everything, cherry salsa, cherry pie, obviously. But, yeah.
Was there a moment though where you felt like the trust had permeated the room? I mean, you got to buy into the coaches, but then you really got to buy into each other. And when you're competing against each other, you maybe ratchet up a little bit more, just because you've got that trust and belief in one another at the same time.
Yeah, I think it's different for every individual, depending like how much you trust them and whatnot. And the lineup looks a lot different than it used to when I was a freshman, but progressively you see other like more and more guys come in that are bought in and then do believe in that culture. And and right now as a team up and down the 10 starters and all the guys on the bench, I feel like there's that trust. At least for me, I know I trust most of those guys. So yeah, that's really cool.
Having wrestled in the Big 12 over the past 4 or 5 years, what makes wrestling in this conference so special? And just talk about that.
Well, there's definitely a lot of history. You know, with us and Oklahoma State being the most winning team, and even Oklahoma having such a strong history with wrestling, there's definitely that part of it. This year we have, with the addition of Missouri, we're definitely clearly number 2 conference in the country. So it's a tough tournament. It's going to have a lot more depth this year, I think, with the addition of Missouri, and just all these teams are just getting better, like South Dakota State, North Dakota State. You know, UNI, like we're talking about, they're top team. They have top guys in a lot of weights. So there's a lot more depth, I think, now, and I think that's just going to be good for the future of Big 12 as well. Yeah.
And then Dresser talked about, you know, the little things being important, not just the training you guys do day in, day out. What are some of the little things that you try to do as, you know, as the season has progressed?
Little things like just making sure I feel good for the workouts and the training and the competition too. I mean, competition kind of becomes less and less now, but it's more and more important. The matches are bigger now towards the end here, so making sure you feel good, doing everything right outside the room, like eating and sleeping and stuff like that. Those are definitely big things for me. Making sure I got all that stuff dialed in, my nutrition and sleep. Yeah. Am I good?
Thanks, Ian.